this workshop on sales for non-sales. How many of us believe that we are salespeople? None of us? Now, I beg to differ here. In fact, all of us traditionally, right from beginning, have been salespeople. You beg to differ there? Well, let me ask you a question. Is it that while appearing for an interview, we're trying to sell our skills and our resume to the interviewer or to the company with which we plan to work or for which we have appeared for an interview? Imagine the time, just go back to the time when you requested for a bike to your father. How persuasive you were. Very much persuasive, isn't it? You explained all the best features about the bike, the necessity of the bike, why you need that particular bike, so on and so forth. Weren't you selling that bike or the idea of buying that bike to your father so that he could probably buy it for you? Yes. Or while buying a music system, have you not really appeased your spouse about various features of the music system or the reason why you need that music system so badly? Absolutely. Each of us always enter into the area of salesperson or being a salesperson from time to time. It's really important for us to understand the basic nuances of sales. Unfortunately, in India and even globally, sales is taken up in a very, very negative manner. Well, it's not. It isn't about always selling something and getting rid of it. That's what a traditional salesperson was known for. He was known for simply moving and giving his product even to the people who don't need it and then turn them away forever. Just imagine, while you're selling certain things, would you really buy it yourself? If the answer is yes, you are right now in the right sales position. Now what happens when these salespeople go and have talks with the customers? Always their point of view is to convince the customer to buy your product or services. In the same fashion, whenever you are technical people who are going to indulge in certain sales talks, often you are requested to come in when the second level of sales comes in, where you need to go and close the orders. What happens at that point of time? The salespeople have made the first sales pitch, you go, you act as somebody called as a consultant. When you are coming as a consultant, the customer takes you as somebody who can understand his needs and he opens it up, looks upon to you for guidance. Now this is where the actual sales happen. So in a nutshell, each of us are salespeople. When he treats you as a consultant, for customer you become a god. Somebody who can identify his needs, somebody with whom he can talk about his needs, you would understand and then suggest what is the best product or best services that you would have. So it's not simply going and telling about your product, but it's also about probing him what is that he would need and what would suit his requirement the best and how you are the best people to do business with and to cater to his needs. So at the center you have customer and all your sales has to be targeted around him. Earlier it was always a product and a salesperson used to drive this product to the customer as a linear movement. Here, what you do is you are trying to get the customer and then try to convince the customer to buy other services for you. So rather than hunting more number of customers, The focus is on one customer, catering to him at multiple levels for multiple products by entering into this role of being a consultant. Imagine that you're going for a project discussion. You understand the client needs. So there are different stages across which this would move. You would first carry out a welcoming note, then probe, then offer, then objection handling, then you would trial closing, you will trial close it, and finally you would close it. Normally, in the traditional sales model, this closing is taken up as the end of sales process, whereas for a consultant who is a salesperson or a consultative mode of selling, this is the starting point to build multiple relationships with the same customer and explore him as one of your star customers. Remember, it's always important to have one satisfied customer, because one satisfied customer would bring in one more. However, one dissatisfied customer would drive away 10 potential customers. Now, would you want that to happen? Definitely not. So rather than selling him any product for your benefit, you would look at the customer's benefit at the central periphery, and then around that your entire model is built. Goes to tell us a very famous statement that our own father of the nation, N.K. Gandhi, made. He said, customer is not the means, but the very purpose of the existence of any business. The business is not doing any favor by catering to him, but he is doing a favor by choosing the business to cater to him. This is what he said in 1930s, which is still relevant and which would be relevant over the period of time. Now, with this approach, would you take sales as a negative function or a very negative word? I don't think so. Believe me, sales is one of the most beautiful things of all the business areas that you would like to be in. I would leave it at that, and I would leave you with this thought, and then let's come back to the process, which is welcoming, probing, offering, objection handling, trial closing, and closing at a later stage. Thank you so very much.